Yep, another day, another dollar. Makes me want to scream and holler. Hey, what's up, guys? This is yours truly, Taylor Jones. And I know I did it again. Like, oops, I did it again. I didn't film last weekend. What's the deal, yo? Why you keep doing this? You can't fault me for forgetting. Last weekend, I traveled back to the city of Maryland. Since it's spring break, y'all. College students, it's spring break. Feel free, do what you want, unless y'all got homework, or unless y'all want to go back to work at your jobs, cause it's important to make that money. But yeah, come to think of it, episode 1, just random stuff. Episode 2, random stuff. Episode 3, I did mention about procrastination a little bit. Episode 4, sexual harassment. Episode 5, stalking, my recent one. And now, ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 6 of Cold Man's Winter. But what can I think about talking about? Well, now, I think there's something that's been stuck on everybody's mind. I mean, I remember talking about the coronavirus a long time ago from one of my previous episodes, but people thought it had something to do with bat soup, but honestly, it's more than that. It's not bat soup. It's just other situation. It's some other thing that caused the coronavirus, but that's not important. But it is important though, cause everybody is getting humiliated. No, not humiliated, but affected. I mean, when will the epidemic end? When will all the bad stuff, the bad things come to an end? Gang banging, dope slanging, prostitution, drinking, smoking, all that. I feel like 2020, honestly, since we've reached the third month, we haven't seen brighter days. I mean, some of us, we still got habits that keeps us from trying to advance. And like, what's the worst thing that you can think of? Well, being abused. Being abused is just a pain in the neck, verbally or physically. Because sometimes you just know that when you're in a position like you're about to fight, it's me against the world, me against my girl, me against my friends. Betrayal, deceitfulness, complete conversations turn to arguments, and all heck is breaking loose every time you turn around. But who gives a dang? Everybody that's been knowing you day in and day out, but it's just wicked. Why would we have to deal with friends, like friends who are in a tough relationship, some like a poetic justice type relationship? And for those that remember the Poetic Justice movie, uh, Janet Jackson, Tupac Shakur, Joe Torre, and Regina King, 4 friends: Lucky, Justice, Aisha, and Chicago. Shoot. Chicago and Aisha were in a relationship. Lucky and Justice, they were like two distant strangers, as Tupac would say on the song Changes. Two distant strangers. But for those that watched the movie, y'all know exactly what happened when it comes to having a relationship going sour, going downhill. being abused is the worst thing that I can think of right now. I mean, why does it always matter? Because women are the number one victims. I mean, we seen it in PSAs. We seen it in music videos. Like, for example, Mary J. Blige's No More Drama. There were 3 different people. 2 men, 1 woman. One Latino, 1 Mexican brother. One Mexican fella. An essay. He was hurt because his homeboy got shot. His homeboy got killed. And he's dealing with so much pain, so much hurt. And when it comes to the other guy, he was like, ugh, he was addicted. He was addicted to drugs. I mean, it's crazy how wild he was acting. Like, he can't handle the pain. He can't handle it. But he's trying to get more. Like, you're gaining for some more drugs. Like, you're hurting yourself. But when it comes to no more pain, no more gain, no more drama. No drama. Drama is in domestic violence. The man puts a random man puts a hand on a woman who have been humiliated. Abused. Slap in the face. Black eyes. Bruised lips. Bloody lips, Ike and Tina. Dr. Dre and Michelle. And yes, Chicago of Poetic Justice against Aisha. And it took some time to realize that some people, they get abused for, like, slapped or punched, kicked. They do some real hardcore things, violent things, because of what the other person says. It doesn't make sense to put your hands on a woman. Baby, you need to swing my way. Marky D will do you right on the flyway. And like the man you with now, I keep my hands to myself. So baby, you need to swing my way. Prince Marky D from the Fat Boys when he went solo. Keep your hands to yourself. Before you do this in the forceful motion, you got to realize that, wait, who am I trying to impress? Am I trying to impress my inner self or the fellas I hang out with, smoke blunts with, drink brews with? Come on. You're trying to abuse your lady over nothing. We men are always stereotyped as idiots, as the bad guys when it comes to relationships. Songs have been describing about it. Descriptions. But on a certain case, there's a vice versa to being abused, domestic abuse in relationships. Like, for instance, Amber Heard versus Johnny Depp. Do you know how pathetic it sounds when celebrities have to deal with being abused by their spouses? If I was a celebrity and my spouse got too abusive of me, what would I do? I would divorce, call the police, but some men, they don't want to accept calling the police. They're afraid that they're going to be chicken, sissified. No, that is not true. And when it comes to dealing with an evil female, man, you got to be very cautious about what you say, what you do, and how to overcome. I mean, we had some really good examples of an evil woman when it comes to relationships. For example, Lynn Whitfield's character from A Thin Line Between Love and Hate. And the film was inspired by a 1970 song from a short-lived band. And I think they were called the Persuaders. It's a thin line between love and hate. And all of a sudden, H-Town and Shirley Murdoch and Roger Troutman brought that song back to life. And you know good and doggone well, it makes perfect sense that the people who abuse their spouse, they have to face hard times. They might end up in jail. They might end up with nobody. Even though they're going to end up with guilt. Even if they don't care. I mean, it's ridiculous. So what do you have to do to overcome being abused? Like PSAs, you gotta call for help. Don't be afraid. Ladies will probably take this seriously. If a man just slaps you around, just do like actress Rochelle Aties did on Medea's family reunion, I think. Yeah, the movie, Medea's Family Reunion. Do like Rochelle Aties, cook grits, and when he hits you, pour grits on him. And Medea will say, "Oh, is everything okay, Medea? Oh, everything's fine. They just playing some grit ball." Grit ball. But if the men are getting abused by strong women, they'll probably have to find a way to get out this situation. Just think smart. Like, find ways to end the curse, end the nightmare, and learn a thing about it. John Doe and Jane Doe, they were first good friends back in childhood. John Doe wanted to have a woman that will always be by her side. Jane Doe wanted a man to be completely honest. And they've been like that for years. And all of a sudden, they proposed, got engaged, but then all of a sudden, things went downhill. Jane was real serious about her marriage. And John, he can't even hang out with his friends, can't even talk to other girls. Even in his own dang reunion, his 10-year reunion. But unfortunately, after 10 years of being married, Jane really let him have it. She went completely insane. She been cooking food that he is not pleased with. She force feeding. She even had a gun. She decided to take her marriage so seriously that she has been doing some redundant things until like every Friday they have poker night. I mean, and they always had to have, and she always threatens him to have sex with her. For a husband and wife, the wife has gone way too far and given threats. Just when you thought it was sexual harassment, it's worse than that. She even hits John with a baseball bat to wake up. Now that is crazy. But all of a sudden, let's say year 15 came by. Year 15 came by, and then John had no other alternative but to pack up and leave. After 15 years of marriage, John Doe had enough. He decided to take off his wedding ring and go to the divorce court, get some papers, and make sure that she writes. But in the smoothest way that he could play her off, he decided to put another. First off, he folded the words and kept the and folded it and kept the signature parts, the signature to write your name. He wrote the name for his part, and now Jane has to write her name for her part. But let's just say that he kept the signature names open. But not only that, he used another piece of paper, probably in a different color. And all of a sudden, when Jane came home, she was with her friends. And of course, her friends were not pleased after seeing John sitting on the porch, knowing that he didn't do anything wrong. One of them looked at him like, oh man, we gotta talk to him. But so they decided to talk to him. Well, but John said he can't. I can't talk to y'all. One girl asked him why. Then he just took a deep breath and like, oh darn my life. What? And told them everything. Told Jane's friends everything about the relationship. But little did she know. Well, little did Jane know. She didn't see the paperwork yet. She was too busy grabbing some money out the jar, out the penny jar. But they were completely full of dollars. And then she started realizing that the closet, the drawers, they were empty. Most of John's stuff was empty, carried placed in boxes, and all of a sudden she starts to let loose. So she pulled out her gun. And yes, her friends were shocked, screaming like, "Oh my gosh! Jane, what are you doing?" John, he didn't even flinch. Jane had her gun pointed on John's head, asking, "What is the meaning of this?" Then she cocked her gun. And while she was about to pull the trigger, she decided, John said, "Oh, haven't you forgot something?" And she was not happy. She didn't want to answer. But then he said, "Oh yeah, there's some you gotta sign. You gotta sign it. Some you gotta sign. You sign your name first, and then you open it up. Open up the paperwork. Paperwork for what? Oh, it's a secret. And only you can figure it out." So instead, she was like, "Don't you move. Not a muscle." So she walks back inside. And while she was already inside heading to the bedroom, the girls, Jane's friends, along with John Doe, they got in his car, although it was actually a GMC Suburban. Most of his belongings were placed in the back of his SUV. And he drove away without even honking the horn. He just got the heck out of Dodge. And while Jane Doe, actually after Jane Doe saw the paperwork, the sign your name part, she signed it, and then all of a sudden she took off the colored paper and then unfolded the main paperwork, and little did she know, it was at this moment that Jane knew she had it coming. After being the abuser in a relationship, marriage turned wrong. Dun 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 dun. John filed for divorce, and also she discovered his wedding ring on the dresser. What? And all of a sudden, she ran outside, still got a gun in her hand, and realized that John already, but already escaped, along with her friends. And just when the nightmare was about to be over, it wasn't. Because Jane Doe had the audacity to, to, to chase after John and stop him from leaving. It's kind of like the same feeling that you get when Rasputia and her brothers were actually planning to get revenge on Norbit. Although Norbit made up his mind and realized that Rasputia is a two-timer. Ever since she had an affair with Marlon Wayans' character. But that was from Norbit. But you get the idea. So all of a sudden, after being chased upon the highway trail, on the road trail, John is like, screw this. John, no! Well, I have to. I fell in love with this girl ever since grade school, and now she wants to take my life. Since she already knew I divorced her. You divorced? Finally. Something I should have done a long time ago. And all of a sudden, here we go. He decided to give up. Without a care in the world. Just shoot me, Jane. See what happens. Hands in the air. Like he's about to face the Miranda rights. But instead, everybody knew the relationship between Jane and John. And guess who was the first person to figure that out before John divorced her? One of Jane's friends who decided to tweet and let everyone know that her friend Jane is a psycho. And even the cops had appeared to her. Put your gun down. Put your hands in the air. Knowing that Jane was getting out of line, she had to serve time. And after a short trial, she was sentenced to 10 years for a somewhat attempt to murder an individual, as much as abuse charge. And meanwhile, John and Jane's friends, they finally got along, and John was very happy that the marriage came to an end, because he knew in his heart that he had to stop living in fear. And this is what happens when you let time get the best of you. Don't wait. Don't suffer any longer. Get this nightmare destroyed right away. So the moral of the story is, whether a man abuses a woman or a woman abuses a man, the victim has the right to get out of this mess. Because some abuses, they can end up deadly. Some will end up with a homicide, then a suicide. Because nobody's going to get me. even if you kill yourself after you abused your wife or your husband for years and killed them, you still gonna be an evil human being. Whether y'all notice or not. Everybody else knows what's going on behind closed doors. Even your parents have been in this position. Abusive relationships. It don't work. Never has and never will. So be careful on who you fall in love with. Because if you get abused or you abuse them, shame on both of you. Because in the words of Lattimore, I rather see, like, when things go wrong, how in the heck you expect me to understand when I don't even know what's wrong? So what's the point? Let's straighten it out. It's not too much to ask. Instead of abusing each other and arguing day after day to the fact that you can't fall in love any longer to leading to a divorce, why don't you go straighten it out? Counseling, or let God heal the wounds. That's how life goes. If you don't know when to straighten things out, then you played yourself. You played yourselves, actually. And it ain't nobody else's fault. You've played yourself. Ice-T, 1988. Come on. It takes more than lyrics of a song or a title of the song to let you know what's going on. It takes more than a movie to help you wake up, smell the weed, because, well, metaphorically speaking, because everything in this world is not clear. The air is not beautiful. You smell weed, and that weed represents the evil deeds that's been taking place. And being in a domestic abusive relationship with spouse and others, that is too much to handle. Too much nonsense to face. If I was in an abusive relationship, I would put down my pride. Well, actually, put down both of my feet, clench my hand to a fist, and learn how to fight back. But since I'm a man, I can't hurt a woman. All I can do is pick up the phone and call for some professional help. Even when a woman is trying to kill me, it's never too late to put an end to the madness, this nightmare. And women would do exactly the same, because it's vice versa. We want a good relationship, not a dark relationship. So stop abusing each other. Stop the abuse and improve with love. Because if you can't fall in love, then don't fall in love at all with that person. Because he or she cannot be trusted daily. This is not just a straight thing. It even happens in the gay world. Abuse is never different. It's the same old drama, the same old tragedy that everybody faces. And with all that being said, stop abusing each other. Let's decrease the abusive relationships and increase a positive, more loyal relationships. And even straighten things out. Straighten it out. Is that too much to ask? Anyway, if you like this video, feel free to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel if you haven't already. And there will be more in stores for Cold Man's Winter. live and modeling. This is yours truly, Taylor Uncle. No, I was about to call myself Uncle Bean, and this ain't a rap video. It's another Cold Man's Winter video. In other words, with all that being said, this is yours truly, Taylor Jones, signing out.